government of Guyana, with funding from the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is piloting 6 early childhood development centers across the country. 5 of those have been commissioned since the start of the year. In this InfoHub Extended, we will be looking at how these centers will benefit the communities they were launched in.
As part of its 8th program cycle, the Basic Needs Trust Fund, or BNTF, collaborated with the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Youth Empowerment in the Ministry of the Presidency, the Board of Industrial Training, and the Early Childhood Development Unit in the Ministry of Social Protection to provide educational services to children under the age of 5 and create employment for young people through the establishment of early childhood development centers. Aubrey Norton, Youth Empowerment Advisor, explains the rationale behind the project.
We had done some research across the country and found that there were a lot of young people with teaching potential who had 3 and 4 CXC but didn't have math and English and therefore might not. And so the decision was taken to train them and to have them involved. So across the country, in all 6, you have like 9 persons trained for each. The hope is also that those young people will go back to school. From the bunch, we have taken 12 of them who are enrolled in the University of Guyana. We have organized scholarship for them, and it is hoped that every year 2 will go so that they can improve their qualification and become professional teachers. And so those were the key objectives. We also took the opportunity to train them in leadership, because at the time the view was they are going to be leaders in here anyhow.
Earlier in January, 162 young people from across the country graduated from training facilitated by the BNTF in early childhood development, information technology and music production. At that graduation ceremony, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan noted the government remains committed to funding solutions to reduce unemployment in the country and assured the graduates the administration will continue to create opportunities for training programs to further equip persons with necessary skills.
I don't want this to be just another speech and then you collect your certificate and you're gone. I want you, as you sit here and you go home and you're going to another life, to ponder on what I'm saying. I've been making these speeches all the time and I'm asking you to ponder on it. How I, John Jones, Jane Prasad, or whatever else, can make a difference for us in my life, in my home, and as a consequence adding value to the rest of the economy.
16 young women were trained as early childhood educators and successfully graduated from the program. This amongst the 8 women for each of the 2 centers. The BNTF is the CDB's flagship regional poverty reduction program and supports projects and programs in water and sanitation, basic community access to roads and drainage, education, and human resource development. Bernard Lord, who served as project manager on the early childhood development centers, noted human resource development will be a major focus for BNTF.
We're training persons in small engine repairs. And when you finish getting training in small engine repairs, you can become a brush cutter. So we're training you to maintain that brush cutter. If you're in Amsterdam, you can repair your ATV. We're training you to repair your ATV. We're training you in heavy duty machinery operation. We're buying simulators and we place them at the Tech Park institutes around. We're also training persons on the coast in solar PV installation. We've recognized that solar PV knowledge is only in the hinterland of Guyana. And Guyana made a commitment to transition to clean renewable energy by 2025. So we're training persons on the coast in solar PV installation. We're also training persons in garment construction, tailoring, and upholstery.
The BNTF have implemented 600 sub-projects across Guyana since it began receiving grant funding some 25 years ago.
Early childhood development centers have already been commissioned in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10.
Early childhood development centers have been commissioned in Anna Katrina, West Demerara, Essequibo Islands, Ansgrove, East Coast Demerara, Ithaca, West Berbice, and 1 Mile Wisma. Awards for the construction of the facilities were handed out last year by the BNTF. The cost of construction for each facility is as follows: Anna Katrina, $36.5 million, Ansgrove, $35.9 million, Ithaca, $38.7 million, and 1 Mile Wismar, $39.4 million. Each facility is 3,200 square foot and can accommodate 45 infants to school agers, 8 caregivers and teachers, and an administrator. Each facility includes 4 care areas or classrooms, a sleeping area, sick bay, a staff room, an administrative area, storage spaces, a kitchenette, a laundry room, sanitary facilities, and an outdoor play area for the children. Bernard Lord, who served as BNTF's project manager on this project, explained young people from each community will be trained to work at the facilities.
The other component of this project involved the training of 64 young unemployed or underemployed youths to generate employment. 2 males and 64 females were trained in the Foundation in Early Childhood Education course that we implemented.
The BNTF, in collaboration with the Department of Public Service and the University of Guyana, awarded scholarships to the persons trained to work at the centres, Lord noted.
We identified persons who we thought excelled at the foundation program and encouraged them to apply to the University of Guyana to pursue the certificate program for early childhood practitioners level 1.
3 persons from Region 3, 3 from Ansgroves, 2 from Ithaca, and 1 from 1 Mile Wismar have been identified as beneficiaries of the scholarships.
Earlier in the year, 2 early childhood development centers were commissioned in Suddy and Dartmouth in Essequibo and handed over to regional officials. Last month, 4 more were commissioned.
Minister of Finance Winston Jordan was present at the commissioning of the centres. The Ansgrove and Ithaca ECDC were commissioned on July 14. The minister said having a safe educational space for children provides parents with an opportunity to become their own bosses.
We want people exposed so that they can empower themselves and not keep looking to government either for a handout or for a job. The best employer is yourself.
On July 21, at the commissioning of the Anna Katrina ECDC, Minister Jordan said these centres are important to combating crimes in communities.
I say as the Minister of Finance, I'm all for it. And I'm prepared to work with the regions, work with the ministries, work with the childhood department, to make certain that we have more of these structures so that we can break the back of what is not too much of a portent right now, which is so many young people involved in crime of various kinds, whether it's smoking ganja, smoking drugs, murders, robberies, even rapes. It's very heart-rendering that a significant part of our population is not being exposed to simple things of growing up, and playing and growing up and eating fruits and so forth, but have to contend with eking out a living.
At the opening of the 1 Mile Wismar ECDC on July 29, Minister Jordan pointed out that ECDCs provide a safe learning space for young children.
If we can, in this simple project, put parents' mind at ease, where their children can have an opportunity to have an environment to learn, to develop their motor and other skills, while their parents are freed to go and do either training or actually hunt for a job, but in any case, to make themselves productive citizens.
Regional authorities were charged to ensure that the facilities are properly maintained.
Now, it's little kids that are going to be in here, so we don't expect the roof to be falling in or the light fixtures to be disappearing and so on, because kids can't reach there. So they will disappear if the regional administration does not take full control of the facilities in terms of the security and in terms of the monitoring. And the center will deteriorate if the people we put to administer it don't take pride and joy in this facility and make certain that it remains in a pristine condition within which we are going to hand over.
Community members where the early childhood development centers were established have welcomed the initiative.
Gail Hunter, a mother, is one of the women employed to work as a caregiver at the Ansgrove ECDC.
As a mom, it will give us a chance to go out and work and develop ourselves so that we can provide for our children.
Claremont resident Aliyah Kudratullah is a scholarship recipient and caregiver at the Ithaca ECDC.
Must say I'm lucky to be working here at this new facility because we were well trained and it will be a new job opportunity for me.
Margaret Pile from IFLAT said she's impressed by the Anna Katrina facility.
I think it's beautiful and very colorful and definitely unlike anything I've ever seen in Guyana.
Narshani, a mother who resides in Lenora, says she welcomes the initiative.
I think this is a great step, and for the community it will do the mothers well, you know, especially for me. So I have to thank the BNTF staff for seeing the need in this community for a building like this.
Donna Rigby, who resides in Wisma, benefited from training as part of this project. She's also a beneficiary of the University of Guyana scholarship.
I'm so thankful. I am so thankful for the opportunity, and I am determined that I will go and make this government proud.
The development of these early childhood development centers have a twofold benefit. First, to provide the necessary training and support for the nation's children at this crucial stage of their development. And secondly, to provide parents with the freedom to seek out employment opportunities while at the same time providing jobs for residents within the respective communities, thereby contributing to our nation building. Thanks for watching InfoHub Extended. Do join us again next time. Goodbye.
Roundabouts. Approaching a roundabout. When you approach a roundabout, you must use your indicator if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn at the roundabout. You must give other road users sufficient notice of your intent to turn. Entering a roundabout. When entering a roundabout, you must slow or stop to give way to any vehicle already in the roundabout. You must also continue to use your indicators if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn. Turning left. When turning left, you must indicate left on approach and be travelling in the left-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Stay in the left lane and exit in the left lane. Turning right. When turning right, you must indicate right on approach and be travelling in the right-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Making a U-turn. When using a roundabout to make a U-turn, you must approach in the right lane and signal right. Changing lanes in a roundabout. Drivers may change lanes in a roundabout if they wish. The usual road rules for changing lanes apply. You must use your indicator and give way to any vehicle in the lane you are entering. Going straight ahead. You don't need to signal when approaching the roundabout if you are going straight ahead. You may approach the roundabout from either the left or right lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Exiting a roundabout. As when you exit a road, you must signal left when leaving a roundabout, if it is practical to do so, and you should stop indicating as soon as you have exited the roundabout. However, when you are travelling straight ahead on a small single-lane roundabout, it may be impractical to indicate when exiting.